Hey, what's going on, guys? Corey from Lion Dads back with another video for you. And before I get started today, I want to remind you guys, go down to lion-dads.com and right when you get to the website, I got a link on there to get yourself a free copy of my PDF, how to get started on a carnivore diet. It's got everything you need to get started losing weight right now today, including a shopping list that you can take to the store with you. Just sign up and get yourself a copy emailed to you. And with all that said, let's get started. So in today's video, I want to talk about something that I get asked about from time to time. I used to get asked about it a lot, especially like people one-on-one that I was like coaching with and stuff like that. And then I started seeing some videos and stuff on it and people doing it and experimenting with it. And then it seems to have been a trend that has tapered off lately, or at least I just haven't seen a lot of action on it. But I got asked about it recently, and so I just thought I'd do a video and address it, and that's, should you be eating raw meats on a carnivore diet? And I know, at first glance, you're like, raw meat, what? Gross. That's something I've been taught against my whole life, always cook meats and stuff like that, but there's people who do it. Believe me, there's people who do it. There's people out there who eat raw meats and seem to do fine with it. So let's dive into that a little bit. So I'll get started with what I do personally. Personally, I cook my food. I don't eat raw meats at all, ever. Obviously, there's cuts of steak that I basically just eat them warmed up. So I'm a pretty big medium rare guy when it comes to like the good steaks and things like that. But there are people out there who will straight up eat steaks raw. And I think when it comes to steak and like roasts and things like that, if you ate it raw, you'd probably get away with it as long as, the equipment used to cut the outside was clean and sanitized and stuff like that. But there's definitely a less of a risk involved in that kind of stuff, but it's something I still don't do. I don't see any particular benefit to it, and I definitely prefer having a little bit of cookedness. Maybe it's just the way I was raised, maybe it's just conditioning. I don't know what it is that makes me want to at least cook some of my food. But so that's the way I approach eating a steak. I eat those medium rare. Obviously with like chicken and pork and things like that, there's a lot of like the foodborne illnesses, the bacteria, the E. coli and salmonella and things like that we've all been taught about our whole lives. And I have heard of, I've never met one, I have seen and heard of people eating raw chicken on the internet. I beg you guys, please don't do that. You know what I mean? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm the one who's misinformed and there is no harm in that. I don't know, but I'm not taking my chances with it, with getting salmonella and things like that. And I recommend you guys don't either. It's just not worth it. You know what I mean? If you're eating chicken, and I don't even eat chicken all that much anyway, like I've always said on here, beef's like an 85 to 90% of my diet type of a deal, and that chicken's just, change of pace kind of deal once in a while. Or unless I'm eating wings, I'm a wing sucker. So, but cook your chicken through, cook your pork through. The guidelines on pork have lessened, so if you're eating like pork chops and pork loin and things like that, it's gone down to, I think it's 145, something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong, you barbecue junkies out there. I remember when I was a kid, it was like pork chops had to be 165, just like chicken. Now you can cook them to like 140, 145 or whatever, and it's supposedly fine. I still get mine up to like 150s. Ground beef, that's a big one. That's one of the first videos I ever saw was a dude sitting down for breakfast eating a bowl of ground beef like it was breakfast cereal. And dude had I shit you not, a bowl of ground beef this big, and he's just eating ground beef raw out of this bowl. And I was just like, holy shit, man, what are you doing? You know what I mean? It doesn't look appealing. I can't imagine it tastes appealing. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm the one missing out. But the way ground beef is prepared is pretty much every single piece of it touches a piece of processing equipment when it's being, because it is a processed food. You know, ground beef you may not have a bunch of shit added to it, but it is run through a process of, you know, mincing it up, grinding it up, and finally chopping it. And so it goes through tools and mechanisms and things, and it touches all kinds of different parts of, you know, these pieces of processing equipment. And I mean, look, man, you can clean and sanitize and do everything. It's just the more you run food through equipment, the more likely of a chance of it getting some kind of, you know, parasite or bacteria or whatever on it. It's just the chance just greatens, right? So that's why they recommend ground beef gets cooked all the way through to 165, basically well done. And that's the way I prepare my ground beef. I don't eat my ground beef rare. I don't eat it raw. Sure as hell don't eat it raw. I don't even eat it medium. You know, when I cook ground beef, there's just always that chance that it could have touched some kind of contaminated or dirty or whatever equipment. So that's something that I recommend to you guys. You don't have to do it the way I do it, you know what I mean? This is just, I'm showing you the way I do things, and that's my whole goal here, is I've had a lot of success on this, and I want to share that with you guys, and that's the way that I've handled my business. So with that said, you know, I would highly recommend just staying on the safe side, cooking your food to, you know, the recommended preparedness that it should be. Cook your chicken all the way through. Cook your ground beef all the way through. Keep eating those medium rare steaks. You know, that's totally fine. You know, that's all good and fine. All right, moving on to eggs. There's a lot of raw egg guys out there too. And some of the same rules apply. I don't eat raw eggs. I'm not a raw egg guy. I won't crack an egg and just put it in my mouth. I remember doing the raw egg thing in high school, trying to put weight on and get extra protein and stuff. And there was a lot of the benefits of eating raw eggs when we were lifting back then. And I tried it a few times, you know, mixing it kind of in a protein shake type deal with some raw eggs. And I remember I never got sick, but I remember dudes getting sick. I remember a few guys getting sick off of eggs and not feeling so hot. And I don't know exactly what they got. I don't know if it was salmonella or what it was, but there were some guys who did end up getting sick off of it. And that just has always turned me off of eating raw eggs. You know, I'm not like sitting here and saying there is no benefit, and that all the guys out there that say eat raw eggs are full of shit or anything like that. But I have seen firsthand guys get pretty sick, missing school, missing sporting events because they ate raw eggs trying to put muscle on. When I find that I've gotten just as good of benefits and results eating my eggs cooked. And I eat a ton of eggs. I've said that on here a billion times. I'm a big time egg guy. I'll stand on the table and scream for eggs. But you know, I recommend cooking your food. That's just where I am on it. You know, if you disagree, you know, respectfully let me know down in the comments, or get down there and scream at me like people like to do from time to time, tell me I'm full of shit. I don't really care either way. But you know, if you disagree and you want to talk about it, you know, let me know down in the comments. Tell me your point of view on it, and tell me, you know, what your thoughts are, your experience eating raw, uncooked foods. If it's worked for you and you haven't gotten sick, you know, I'd love to hear it. But that's all I got for today, guys. Just a reminder, just a short video, but get over to lion-dads.com and I'll email you that free PDF, absolutely free. And get started losing weight, get your shopping list, go to the store, get everything you need, start losing weight today and getting better. And until next time, talk to you later.